each and every day. Love and live your way. Do your very best. Learn and lead today. Be the best you can. It's your life. Take a stand, so live your best life. Live your best life. Come on and live your best life with Dr. Julia Royston. Well, hello, I am Dr. Julia Royston. Welcome to another edition of Live Your Best Life, where we introduce people to inspire you, empower you, and inform you on ways, resources, tools, strategies, skills to live your best life. And I'm super excited to introduce to our audience today, Dr. Wycondia West. She's going to introduce herself. I want you to meet her and all that she does. I am, as they say, sister across a few states away, who is super proud of what she is doing in the educational field and the educational community. So I want her to introduce herself, tell us how to find her and follow her on social media, and what she does to impact the educational community.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Wycondia West, and I have been an educator for over 20 years. Right now, I have an ACT prep company where I work with thousands of high school students each year, helping them to increase their ACT score so they can get these wonderful scholarships to college and basically get into their dream college. And by doing that, I'm also helping the parents save a ton of money.
And we thank you. And the aunties thank you. And the uncles thank you. So tell us first off how they can contact you, even before we talk even more about your wonderful service.
Yes, so you can contact me. You can follow me on Instagram, Dr. WSW, or you can follow me on LinkedIn, which is just Wycondia West. You can follow me on Twitter, Dr. Wycondia West, or you can follow me on Facebook, Wycondia West. And you can also follow my business page, which is West Instructional Services.
WestInstructionalServices.com.net.
Just my Facebook page. My business page is West Instructional Services, and then my website is westinstructionalservices.net.
.net. Okay. Awesome. Now, first off, I have to tell you, I wish my sisters and I had your services when we were fighting through the ACT.
I hear that all the time.
Well, and I really want you to address the, now I have to let everybody know that it matters the race, creed, or color. Dr. West does work with students. So her primary focus is not just simply on African-American or minority students. If you follow her for any length of time, you'll see that she works with all ethnicities of students. So that's not to say, oh, just the African-American students, oh, just the Latin students need help. Everybody does. Yes. So what are some of the critical things? We're not giving away the herbs and spices because we want people to get in your classes, request your services and access them. But why is there really a need for your services? I think that's my first question.
Yeah, so basically, across the country, you have students who are trying to get into these major colleges. You've got athletes, band students, academic scholars. They're trying to get into college. And college can be very expensive. We know that. And the best way to go to college is to go for free. You know, who doesn't want to go on a full ride ticket? And the best way and the quickest way to do that is through a standardized test, which is ACT or SAT. My niche is the ACT. And even further than that, even more than that, I'm in the state of Alabama. And so the state of Alabama, it's an ACT state where all juniors across the state have to take the ACT in the spring. Same way with Nevada, Mississippi, Louisiana, North Carolina, Tennessee. I think there's about 12 different states who require their juniors to take the ACT in the spring. So it's a big deal. It's a big business. And like I said, not only that, that's your college entrance exam. That's where you get the big money. That's where you get the scholarships. That's where athletes, pass those NCAA requirements. They have to have an ACT score or an
Right.
SAT score. So it's across all platforms. It's really important.
It's important, but I'm just, most people would say, well, okay, they've done 11 years of school. You got a standardized test. Why doesn't the education they get match the ACT? Why doesn't that match?
Well, this is the thing. The ACT, and that's a big discrepancy, where people will feel like, well, my child, she takes honors classes, she's advanced, she's got a 4.2 GPA, but she can't get higher than a 19 on ACT. That's because the ACT is not the same as a classroom test. When you take a classroom test, you've been going over that material for about a week or a week and a half, and then they test you on that specific information, those specific vocabulary words, that specific math content, versus the ACT. They are assessing your ability to read different types of literature. Also, not only can you read the literature, can you comprehend the literature? And you have to do this in a certain amount of time. For example, the reading section on ACT, you only have 35 minutes to read 4 passages. Yeah. 35 minutes, that's not a long time, because when you compare a 35-minute section on the ACT to a classroom test, most classroom tests, you have about an hour to take the test. So that right there is a big disparity. So we don't want to compare the ACT to a classroom test, because it's not a classroom test. And that's where a lot of parents, they do their children a disservice when they don't get them help on ACT, because they're feeling like I already said, I hear it all the time. She's so smart. She's an honor student. She's got a high GPA, but, and that's because they're thinking in terms of a regular classroom test.
Right. Well, and my sister was a straight A student. I mean, straight A's, 4.0, beta club, honor society, the whole 9 yards, top 1 to 10 in her class. And couldn't get higher than a 15 on the ACT.
Wow.
And we could, back then, well, of course, we graduated high school in the 80s, so it was even worse then. But fortunately, the ACT necessary to get in was not as high as it is like for my nieces, who had to get 27s and 30s to get in, to get the full scholarships and the full rides. Back in the 80s, you just applied, and then they would wiggle their way and figure it out. But today, it's not like that. If you don't have a number, you can just forget it. You're going to be paying, or there is a really major issue. And I'm really glad that you explained that, because it really makes you, first off, it's very disappointing for the parents, but it makes you feel like an idiot. And when you have I was an AB student. I wasn't trying to do straight A's. That wasn't my thing. Because I just wasn't trying. I mean, I liked all the activities. A's and B's, 1 and 2 C's. I'm good. But my sister was very type A personality. She wanted straight A's or bust, And her daughter is the same way, straight A's all the way through 12 years. But when you get to a standardized test, you're like, well, it's very discouraging and very disappointing, and you feel like an idiot. I mean, it's just basically it. But to know that that doesn't compare. So services such as yours are really critical.
Yes.
And critical. Now, how can people access you outside of Alabama? Because they're like, help. I mean, if you do this and you're like, well, how do I get her? How does that?
Right. And that's a good question. I'm glad you asked, because I actually work with clients all across the country. I've worked with students in Maryland. I've worked with students in Texas, students in Atlanta, just all over, but I do an online webinar. Okay. And they can purchase the online webinar. And like I said, they can follow me on all of those different platforms on Wycondia West or West Instructional Services. And they can contact me. I do a webinar. I ship my books. I send them tests. And it has really helped, even with the online portion.
Okay, so
versus
we don't have to have
face-to-face.
you actually physically come.
No,
And
no.
they don't actually have to physically come to you. So it's
Right.
West Instructional
Services.net.
Services.net.
Yeah, and then
West.
the other thing also, I travel all over. I do boot camps, and about right before Christmas, I was in Greenville, South Carolina. I did a boot camp with the Upward Bound students, and I do travel. If it's about a group of 25 to 30 students, I'll travel and I work with them, and we do a real nice boot camp. So
perfect. So I need to get 25 students in a room and get
there
her
you
to
go.
Louisville, Kentucky, Jeffersonville area. And you think
I'll
I'm
be
not
there.
laughing? She is. I'm not, because I think that's just really critical and important. Just as a sidebar, I am planning an educational summit in
Awesome.
June of this year.
Awesome.
School starts in my area really, really, really soon before August 15th. So
wow.
they go back. Teachers have to be in the building August 10th, and then school starts August 12th. So we're not even waiting till the 15th. So I had to consider my educational summit back to June, just to feel like I was catching them before everything gets underway in July. So I'm really, now I know that it takes 25 students to a room.
Yeah,
and
I'll
then
be there.
Dr. West will come to us. So I'm going to be reaching out to some counselors and see if we can make that happen and get her here in the June time slot. So know that if you are not able to get her in a room, you can get her online. So be sure, and we will put this out and put this across the bottom of the video and in our list again, because this is really critical. If you do not have this, you will be paying top dollar and not able to get access to all the $1 million of scholarships that are available. And you don't want that. You want as much scholarship help as possible. And it does not mean that your child is deficient academically in any way. It just means that we need to learn how the skills, the strategies we need to be able to pass this thing.
Exactly. That's it.
We got to get to pass this thing.
Yes. and a lot of times, and I run into parents a lot of times, they're like, well, we're going to just see what we can do on our own, and we're going to just do cold turkey, and we're going to do, and I'm like, why? You wouldn't just jump in a pool without practicing, without learning how to swim, would you?
Right,
so
you're going to drown. You're going to drown.
Yeah. I mean, so why would you do that with a test? That's so important. Why would you just let your child send them off to the wolves and we're just going to see what?
Well, the other piece too is that you're going to need these similar type of skills. I'm just going to put it out there because a bachelor's degree is just, to me, very entry level today. You're going to need that next level of academic, depending on what area and industry you're headed into. You know, there are some industries, a bachelor's degree is like a high school diploma, and then you're going to have to need a master's, and you're going to need a doctorate. So taking those praxis tests, taking the LSATs and the
DRE,
the DRE and all that, and multiple praxis. And if you're like me, I had taken the first praxis and I said, yay, okay, that's good. They instituted the second one before I was even getting graduate school. I'm like, what in the world?
Wow.
I had to sit out and wait till the praxis date came, and then you talk about a frustrated sister.
Wow.
I just had to do what I had to do. So this type of test taking for standardized tests to give you entrance exams into places. I wasn't even trying to get a scholarship. I was just trying to get in the program. It's necessary, and having these test taking skills and abilities to be able to apply what you learned, and because you really have to think of it in a different way,
Right. And I'm glad you said to get into certain programs, because what happens is with our African American students and parents, when they don't know, they just don't know.
Right.
And if they can score high, and they don't have to make a 36. The highest score on the ACT is a 36. You don't have to make a 36 to get a full ride scholarship. No. That's a myth. Because different, institutions are different. They require different things. But what happens is when we don't get a decent ACT score, then we don't have options.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can only go to this school, or you can only go to that school, because this is the only score you have, and this is the only school you can get into.
Right.
So when you make a decent score, then you've got options.
Yes.
You can maneuver the way you want to maneuver.
Yes.
So.
And you can, with that whole option and opportunity. I mean, it's like that with education, period. It just gives you the certifications, the degrees give you options and opportunities. It doesn't mean you don't have any options. They're very limited. With these additional options and opportunities, it's limitless. It takes the cap off. It takes the ceiling off.
Exactly.
Oh, wow, this is really so good. My brain is just popping off. We're going to take a break right here at this moment, and then we're going to come back and let's just talk about the business mom side of you, Dr. West, because I realized, okay, we got our child, ACT scores up, good to go. But what about us? What about us? Take a break right here. We'll be back with more Dr. West.
I know it's been hard. I know it's been rough. The days were long and the nights were tough. But in this life, you'll win, you'll lose. Choose in spite of all the pain to begin again. Choose in spite of all the pain to begin again. Mistakes you made, Lord knows you paid. But that was then. Today's a brand new day, because in this life you win and sometimes you lose. Yeah. So choose in spite of all the pain to begin again. Choose in spite of all the pain to begin again. Begin again. Begin again. choose. It's your choice. It's your choice. Oh yeah, you can. Yes you can. Yes you can. Yes you can. Choose in spite of all the pain to begin again.
All right, so we're back with Dr. West. So excited she's with us today, giving us some fantastic information to help your child do well on the ACT, get that scholarship money that's sitting there from those foundations and endowments.
Yes.
We want it. Yay! We want it.
Yes.
But I want to switch gears. Okay, so once Dr. West has got your child on the go in a boot camp or a summit or a training on the way with the ACT, that's going to kind of loosen up hopefully your budget just a little bit so that you can do some things for you. So if you're interested, I want Dr. West to talk about the joys and sometimes not so great joys of being a business woman and a mother. What does that look like? So what does your schedule look like?
Oh gosh, my calendar, I always use my, when I travel to different schools, I always use my paper pencil calendar, my planner. I have to write that down, have to physically see it because it's easy to overbook yourself, or you send out a proposal and this person didn't respond, or they didn't, lock you in, and you don't want to get your dates all mixed up. So planner, paper pencil, I always use that. And then when I, for my private classes, when private people, pay me, I always put that in my phone. I put that in my cell phone. I keep that right on me. And basically just staying organized and staying on top of everything, even down to my 2 children. I am divorced. I have a 8-year-old, he'll be 9, and I have a 10-year-old daughter. And I have to keep myself organized, and I have to keep them organized. So it takes a good deal of organization to run a business, to be a single mom, and staying on top of your children, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, they're where they're supposed to be,
Well, it sounds overwhelming, but if you really have a goal and desire and a drive in mind, you can do it. So where do you think your drive and ability to do it all? Because we know you travel, you do classes, you do trainings, and then you got children, then you got food, then you got groceries, then you got, they got activity. You got,
So I get help. I do have help. I have, I guess you could say a nanny, someone who, picks the kids up from school and takes them to whatever activity they may have and get them to the house, get them, cleaned up and a bath and help them with homework. Because sometimes by the time I get home, working, you're exhausted, or you may not have time to help with homework. Sometimes I do have time to help with projects, and I love that. But you definitely need some help, and sometimes it's hired help, which is the best money you could ever spend. When you have kids and you're single, running a business, you definitely need to get some help, because you absolutely positively cannot do it by yourself. So
it does take a village to raise a child, to raise a business owner, to raise an entrepreneur. So number 1, we need to be organized. Number 2, we need a planner. And number 3, we need a village. So, that village piece is really, really key and really critical. People that you know, people that you trust, people that your children like and could trust as well. So, so headed into a new decade, last thing, and then I want you to give us our contact information. Heading into 2020, what is one important thing besides being organized, planning, and having a village internally that you do each day to get you going?
I just think about my why. Why am I doing this? And my children, ultimately, I am trying to leave a legacy for them. I'm doing this, I'm building this for them. I want them to be proud of what I've done. And within the next 10 years, I want them to probably try to do the same thing I'm doing.
Exactly.
You know, because you want to create that generational wealth. You want to leave a legacy. You don't want to just do something for 5 or 6 years and then all of a sudden poof, it's gone, it's over with. Nobody knows what happened to you or your company. I don't want that to happen. So every time I wake up, I'm just dedicated, determined, and excited about what I'm doing because I want to leave this for my children. I want them to be proud of what their mom did and what their mom is doing every single day. I'm going to share this with you then. I know we got to get out of here. But my daughter, we were driving, and she's so funny. She was like, Mama, I'm surprised you're not famous yet. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, I'm just surprised you're not famous yet and you're not on television and all this and that because you do so much with the ACT. And I was like,
well, let us help you get famous. Well, I'm with your daughter now. I mean, you know, really, this needs to be something that has definitely be a broader scope and a broader scale at conferences, etc. So, yeah,
yes,
I'm with your daughter.
You're with her, huh?
I'm with her. We're gonna have to get you out there so that more people understand, so that you can have not only yourself but have a whole team. I speak that
yes.
that you have a whole team of people that travel and train, and we can scale this and take it to the next level. All right, so let's.
I receive that.
All right, I freely give it because I totally see where there's a vast need, and it's not slowing down. The need is not declining. It is continue to move forward. Give us your contact information so we can scale that business. How about that?
Yes. So I am Dr. Wycondia West. You can find me on just about every single platform: LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Wycondia West, also westinstructionalservices.net. And I hope some of you will definitely contact me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to work with you.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay. So Wycondia is WYCONDIA West. Just like the direction. WEST.
Like the direction.
Just like the direction. So let's make that happen. Thank you so much, Dr. West.
Thank you so much.
Today. Excited as always. Live today, tomorrow, and always. Live your best life. Have a great day. Live each and every day. Love and live your way. Do your very best. Learn and lead today. Be the best you can. It's your life. Take a stand, so live.